Happy New Year to all of you. It's the 31st here, and I'm doing what I love doing best, which is hanging out with my books. It's what I'm going to do all day. I wanted to review the book that I finished today. It's called 4,000 Weeks Time Management for Mortals by Oliver Burkeman. So, this book has a unique take on time management. Typically, whatever books I've read before on this topic tend to focus on priorities, schedules, sleep, and so on. This one, however, starts with a philosophical, existential discussion on how every decision to use a portion of time on anything represents the sacrifice of all the other ways in which you could have spent that piece of time, but you didn't. And to willingly make that sacrifice is to take a stand without reservation on what matters most to you. So that sort of inspired me to do nothing this evening except just stay with my books because I don't want to spend my time doing anything else. This book, 4,000 Weeks, stands for an optimistic 70 to 80 years of life, the finite time that we have to do an infinite number of things, immaculately, inimitably, ideally. So that's what the 4,000 Weeks stands for. And the book was published in the year 2021, that is this year, and I picked it up at my favorite local bookstore in Narrowsburg, New York, called One Grand Books, after reading a review in the New York Times. The author, Oliver Burkeman, I hope I'm pronouncing the name right, has written columns for The Guardian and writes a newsletter on productivity, mortality, the power of limits, and building a meaningful life in this age of bewilderment. He calls himself a productivity geek. The book took me 2 weeks to read, and I give the book 3 out of 5 stars. I'll tell you why. There were parts of this book that were absolute gems. The author quotes philosophers, psychology experiments, psychologists, and his own opinions to focus on the fact that one, we have only 4,000 weeks or so to live with a bottomless bucket list, so we should stop clearing the decks. Two, there will always be a trade-off. Those who have a high productivity are not as creative, and if like me you have or you like the aesthetic of things and you like to deep dive and you love perfection, then you're going to have to make some hard choices. I mean, this is the part that I loved. The author said that the original Latin word for decide, decidere, means to cut off or to slice away alternatives. And so that was a big ouch. So in order to become more productive, you have to know which items in your list of things to do you're going to give up. Thirdly, I like that he distinguishes between a good and a bad procrastinator. He says that the good one accepts the fact that she can't get everything done, then decides which tasks to focus on and which to neglect. And the bad one finds themselves quite paralyzed because they can't bear the emotional or the thought of confronting their limitations. Fourthly, I also like that he suggests the inevitability of settling for something. I won't go into the details, and I'll leave that bit for you to read about. Lastly, I think the quote that I really enjoyed was, what you pay attention to will define for you what your reality is. Many philosophers have said the same thing. So, for instance, when you pay attention to something that you don't especially value, it's not an exaggeration to say that you're paying with your life. And this really, really stuck with me because it helped me to stop scrolling on my phone. And the problem with distractions like this, especially when you're scrolling on autopilot, is that the distracted person, which is you and me, isn't really choosing at all. Our attention has sort of been commandeered by forces that don't have our higher or highest interests at heart. Things like companies, like Meta, for instance. So that really got me, and I found myself getting de-addicted, so to speak, from the phone because of this. And I would rather spend my life on other things. That's what the book left with me. Now, My main issue with the book was that some of its content was quite repetitive. And I might have wished that instead of the 240 pages that I read, it might have been a 50-page, concise, beautiful book. I also thought that some of the anecdotes seemed a bit out of place or forcefully added, and I sort of had to push myself to get through these. I'm also not much of a fan of, commandments or lists like 10 things to do before, 12 things ways to live your life, 6 steps to enlightenment. That's not my cup of tea. Although I know that for some people they prefer that and they may even enjoy that. So I think that was my main problem. But the book had quite a few aha moments for me, and overall, I think for speed readers, ironically, looking and those looking for a divergent take on time and how to manage it, I would in fact recommend this book. And I might also use parts of it with clients of mine, and maybe some paragraphs or some anecdotes or some stories. So there's a link to the book below, which if you use at no extra cost to you, I get credit to buy more books to review. Until next time, happy trails to you.